All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video leading up to the start for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 10. In this one, we're going to start things off by giving our thoughts on Negan in his Whisper mask gear, his goddamn skin suit. Awesome. Awesome! Link will be in the description so you guys can go ahead and check this one out from comicbook.com where they got it. So they've started to release some more of these little kind of a teaser trailers just with a few new pieces packaged into each one. And it looks like we have our first glimpse of JDM Negan in his Whisper gear. So cool. So awesome. I didn't recognize him at first, but you kind of tell from the eyes, right? Like he's got the darker complexion in the eyes and stuff. And he's got the wide smile. But he's not smiling yet in the Whisper gear. So we'll have to wait to kind of see that. But yeah, there's lots of new little things kind of being released in the trailers and stuff. We're getting closer now. We're within a month at least to the to the return for The Walking Dead season 10 with its second half. So very excited to see the second half. Very excited to see the Whisper War. It looks great. They're not really promoting it as such. Because we've already kind of, I guess, maybe sort of been in a Cold War, they've called it, with the spies and everything, and Dante and Gamma. But it looks like we're going to get to see full-on Whisper War in the second half, and man, it looks great. I can't wait to see what they do with Negan in this second half of the season. Thank God he's still alive in this goddamn show, right? It's freaking awesome. So I don't know, big Negan fan. I love it. You guys know I do. It's awesome. So it's freaking sweet. And then they also did sort of an article on comicbook.com for Who Survives the Cave, and it's sort of like spoilers. And really, what they did is they just took the survivors that are in the cave, and then they went through the trailers and saw who is in other scenes in other places outside of the cave. So that's really what they did. So there's like Connie, there's Kelly, there's Carol. Daryl obviously is going to survive the cave. I mean, come on. And I think Aaron, right? Aaron's in there too, so he's going to get out. And so pretty much from the looks of things, now this is kind of spoilers is what it is, but they put it in the trailer. It looks like Jerry, unless I stand to be corrected, you guys can let me know in the comments below if you can see Jerry in any other scenes, be it at the hilltop with the Whisper War kicking off where they all have their shields and stuff like that after their training that we saw earlier this year. If you can see Jerry in any other clips in any of the trailers except for in the cave, because I think I know it's pretty obvious. So I hope we're wrong, and I hope we don't see the death of Jerry pretty soon, like within the next episode or two. But I'm just looking at it saying, like, I don't see him anywhere else. So I don't know, maybe I just missed it, but it almost does sound too obvious. But you can't be mad at me because it's in the clips that they released that it looks like Jerry might be kind of his time might be up. But anyway, it's okay. They just did kind of the math with the other things of who's in different spots, and you can check it through if you want to see. I won't get too into it because it's mostly spoilers, but one character death in the cave, does that make sense? Probably. And if it's going to be somebody, I'll put my money on Jerry and just understand that I could be wrong, but it kind of looks like it, yeah. So definitely want to make one today because it is Survival Sunday, or it's why I think of Sundays for now, for me now, as like Walking Dead Day, right? Like every Sunday, it's like there's going to be something Walking Dead, and this year more often than not, that's the case, and next year probably as well too, because we have the third Walking Dead series, so we're going to have lots of weeks this year. So even though we haven't had any Walking Dead yet this year, and we're a few weeks into the year, we just got to get through these few weeks, and then once it comes back, it's going to be on almost all the rest of the year, except for probably December next year. Aside from that, maybe a few break weeks here and there, but basically all the way through. So I'm not up to too much today, regular boring life stuff. I did buy some Turtles comics because, just again, like, I'm going to check out the IDW Turtles series because I love Turtles, and IDW has really been doing some good stuff. They just passed their issue 100, so I'm going to check that out. Maybe I'll do some reviews for some Turtle comics and stuff like that, or different comics. Basically, there's a void. There's a void in my life, guys. We had the Walking Dead comic book series for so many years, and we loved reading it so much every month, and especially after the Space Spore comments, I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, he does not have any interest to do anything with Walking Dead again, does he? It just doesn't. It doesn't seem like it. Now, a lot of people, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday we did a video on Kirkman responding to a comment about what started the zombie apocalypse. So you can check out that video if you haven't seen it. It's in the channel right now. He just responded back to say Space Spore. So a lot of people took that as, well, he's trolling, right? So the comment is, Trev, do you actually believe him? Kirkman trolls a lot. I don't know if he is serious until I see it on TV. That's from FinallyIhavecomeback. So what do we take with Kirkman's word, right? I mean, it's not worth a whole lot. But here's the unfortunate part. Is we have absolutely nothing else to go by, really, right? We have nothing else to go by. The comics are over. It never answered the question of how the zombie apocalypse started. They've never used it in the TV series for an angle, which is surprising, between both the original series and Fear, and that will be, 15 seasons of TV series. They've never used it and kind of used it for a storyline or some kind of special or something like that, which is really, really strange. So you could look at it if you want to as him trolling, and I don't blame you guys for all thinking that, or all thinking like, he's just messing with us as per usual, because he likes to do that, a lot, especially the comments about 300 issues and the whole thing, and they didn't get to 200. So we're, it's not so easy for us to just let that kind of thing go, right? When we had an understanding, we had a deal, Kirkman. I mean, like, we had an understanding here, okay? And you were off over 100, bro. So it's like someone's gonna pay you, someone's gonna pay you 300 something, and then they end up, they'll give you 193. It's like, well. All right, you take it because it's still awesome, but you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna, what the shit, man. So almost everybody took it as him just messing around. I kind of didn't, because I took it as, and even if he is messing around, it even still means that he doesn't. I just took it as he doesn't care, and I think it's sad, because Spawn just passed issue 300. If you guys remember Spawn in the 90s, it was pretty popular. They had a Spawn movie, and Todd McFarlane. There's still new issues of Spawn coming out to issue 300. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, how could Spawn get 300 issues? Freaking Walking Dead couldn't get to 200. Like, man, I just think there was so much more potential there, and there probably is. So here's to hoping eventually there'll be something further in Walking Dead in comic form, and just true Kirkman style, he'll just like have it ready and just release it within. He'll tell us like the day before it releases, if he ever decides to do that. So, but I almost feel like there's some resentment from him towards the fan base or something, and I don't know where that comes from. And I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth or anything like that, but we only have so much to go by here and what he said, and I just feel like, I almost feel like he resents the Walking Dead fan base, or maybe he's resentful because we all love The Walking Dead so much, and we don't really check out his other projects hardly at all. I do have most issues of Invincible, though. I do like Invincible a lot, too. But Outcast I wasn't a huge fan of, and some of the other stuff he did. And is doing, the Alien one, what's it called? Oblivion Song, right? I've got the first issue of that, but, it's okay. Maybe something to check out, maybe not. But I almost feel like he resents people because we all love Walking Dead so much, and then we don't really try a lot of these other series or something. I don't know. But most people took that, I guess, as a troll comment of him messing around. The way I take it is that, we have nothing else to go by. So that's, your best answer right now, unless he comes out and says, I was just kidding. I didn't mean it, right? It's like, that's not canon. I personally take, when the creator of something says something, even though it's Kirkman, right? I think of it as canon, as it's supposed to be, if, I don't know. That's just the way I think of it. Like, okay, he says it's a Space Spore, so I guess we have to go by that, unless he comes out later and says he's trolling or whatever, or puts a troll face after something. I don't know. So that's the way I took it. But I took it more importantly as he just doesn't give a shit. That to me is what I took from it. Whether he's trolling, he's messing around, he doesn't give a shit, or whether he's just telling us and he just doesn't really give a shit. And that to me is such a huge fan of Walking Dead. Is kind of sad. So it's what it is. But that's, people wanted to hear my thoughts on that and saying, like, Trev, you fell for it or whatever. I'm not falling for anything. What I'm doing is I'm, reporting to you guys what he's saying, and kind of giving my thoughts on it. Take it with a grain of, I don't know, the smallest piece of salt you've ever seen, because, you just don't know. but it is what it is, and oh well. At least the Walking Dead comics had a good ending, and he didn't just troll us all by like killing everybody off or something, like a Game of Thrones style ending. Because he could have done that, and then we'd be even more pissed off. We'd be like, that's it, and that's the way you had. At least it had a good ending, right? So that's good. I don't know. Maybe Charlie Adler was a good influence on him or something. Reduce some of that sadism that he seems to have. I don't know. So is what it is. Anyway, enough of me talking crap about one of my heroes, kind of, because he did create my favorite series. So it's what it is. Love-hate relationship, right? That's what it is. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the Space Sport comment. It doesn't mean anything. Should we take it as canon, or is it just like, I guess it's better than nothing for us to never know. So it's like, okay. But KD wants to know, like, what is a space spore? Everyone seems to know but me. Well, I don't know. You could probably look it up online if you want to know the technical, information on exactly what it is. I'm not going to be able to give you a high level, astronomy type answer right now. But basically, like some kind of organism or something that comes from outer space, either on an asteroid or something like this, and comes down and somehow someone comes in contact with it, they get infected or whatever, and then I guess it kind of spreads around in the air from there or something like this. Now, is it engineered like by some kind of alien race to infect the planet or something? I don't think so. I think it's just like some kind of thing that when it mixes with us or whatever, then it will cause us to, all turn into zombies when we die or something. I guess. I don't know. Like I said, in the last video, I always liked the government testing idea. I thought that was cool in 28 Days Later, but it's what it is. Who knows? The TV series universe could also be different as well, too, right? Like if he says that, like when he talks about Walking Dead, he basically means the comics in my mind, unless he's specifically saying TV series or movie or whatever. Most of the time, his answers apply to the comic universe the way I see it. So could the TV series universe be different? Yeah, it could. Most of the time, it's about the same, but then they remix it a little bit here and there. So that's what it is. So I don't know, Katie. You can Google it if you want to know. I don't know. Whatever. Damian Bomm says, looks like he did it just to get people to stop asking him all the time. Really, was no reason for us to know. It's not important. Like that's true. Whether or not he actually means it or he doesn't, only he knows, right? And we don't know from the outside here, but I guess we have to take that as what it is, because it is his series. He did create it, and that's what he says. So, okay, that's what it is. Huub Bellemakers had said, isn't it kind of a rule in zombie-apocalyptic genre not to expose the origins? No, I don't think so, Huub Bellemaker. Somebody replied to him, no, that's just a Kirkman thing, right, that he didn't want to. There are different movies and stuff that kind of allude to it, right, like I just said one. In their universe, what would have caused it or what would have started it, whether it be some kind of rage virus or something like this. But I don't know if in the Night of the Living Dead or the original Dead films, if Romero ever had like any kind of answer for it either. Maybe he didn't. I don't remember. I haven't watched those for a good number of years now, so I don't just watch them like all the time. I do love the movies though. The original Dead trilogy is awesome. And so it started obviously what we are all into now with Walking Dead. That came from the Romero stuff. So rest in peace, Romero and everything. So, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a rule. There's not that much in the zombie apocalyptic genre. There's the Romero stuff. There's Kirkman stuff. There's a whole bunch of B movies, right? And what else is there? I don't know. Z Nation was pretty big for 5 years, and the other series that AMC is going to do and everything, but. Aside from that, movies and that, there isn't too much to it, right? Shaun of the Dead, that's a fun one. Tariq Thompson says, I don't think Negan will ever be 100% redeemed. Characters like Daryl, Michonne, Rosita, and Eugene, who witnessed Glenn and Abraham's death firsthand, will never forget that day. That's how I see it. I could be wrong. So, will he ever be 100% redeemed? No. I mean, he'll be at best an anti-hero, I guess. And so it's what it is. But you guys know I love to see Negan. Very entertaining, a lot of fun. And so definitely one of my favorite characters. Viral Edge said, Trev, have you not heard Norman Reedus says he's in The Walking Dead until the very end, unless they would actually kill him off. So when we did the death predictions video last week, that's what Viral Edge has to say. Well, he said he was in it to the very end, but you don't know how many years they're going to do it for. If they do 12 or 13 and that report is true, which you know, it sounds like it could be, but they're going to base it on fan demand too. So that's the current thinking, maybe to get to the end of the comics and then see how much fan demand is kind of around and whether or not they want to try for like a 13 and 14, which I hope they do try for it at least and see how it will go. But there's no guarantee that if they were to do, let's say they did even more than that and they did 15 seasons, I would not expect to see Norman Reedus or Daryl in every episode, you know, up until the end of the 15th season or something. You know, so the whole idea of him and Carol maybe going to New Mexico or something like that, off on some kind of journey, it makes sense because then they don't have to be in absolutely every season. You could have them come back maybe in the last couple episodes or something like that, and it'd be kind of special. So that's what I think they'll kind of do with Walking Dead. Is I think that what they'll do, I think, is they'll make it like the survivors that survive will become special. I think in the way that where, you know, others might just be killed off. The Daryls and the Carols and Ricks and people like that, they'll set it up so that they can leave and have it make sense in the story. And then that way they can use them down the road for important stuff. At least they're alive out there in some way without having to be in every episode. So, and then we'll see what they do with Michonne, if it's going to be the same or not. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, about a month now, guys. Really looking forward to this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to the return of The Walking Dead. Bummed out about the comics, and even the comment, you know, didn't help at all. So just going to start, you know, reading some other comics, man. You know, I love comics still, right? So what can you do? But there's all kinds of other stuff out there, so I'm going to check out some other comics. If you guys are, you know, reading any, let me know what else you're into. Leave your comments below on what other comics you're into now that the Walking Dead comic series is over. And let me know what you think about Negan and his Whisper look. I think it looks awesome. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. Subscribe to the bottom left. If you're new, have a great day, guys, and I'll see you back again soon. As always, it's Trev. Stay in peace. Later, guys. See you soon.